Welcome back to Access Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough and review of One Piece episode 588. Now, if you remember from last episode, we get to see Smoker versus Law, and it's freaking amazing, because we see Law ripping Smoker apart limb by limb. I love it. But moving on past that, we're taking to a little cutscene with Luffy's group, and they have defeated Brownbeard's crew. In fact, Luffy's group is now riding on the back of Brownbeard. They have this pirate or ex-pirate whipped, literally. Now moving on past that toward the end of the episode, yes, we see Nami's group, and Nami's group is really going nowhere in my opinion, but again, that's where the episode ends, and I'll have my final thought and rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode with Law, and he has in fact defeated Smoker. He ripped out Smoker's heart. Are you kidding me? Well, what isn't sweet about that? I mean, yes, I am a Smoker's fan, kind of, but Law, I'm a Law fan even more. But again, Law has defeated Smoker and walks away. I love it. However, Tashigi, she just loses it. And I love her emotion. I love what she's bringing to the table. But she doesn't really act upon it yet. But again, Tashigi does lose it. Now moving on past that, we're taking to a different scene with Luffy's group. And this scene's kind of interesting because Luffy's now running into Law. So finally, we see Luffy's group. You know, Luffy, Robin, and everyone else that's with him. You know, Zoro as well as Usopp. They have run into Law. This was the build-up after the fight between, you know, Smoker and Law. Luffy is now running into Law, and he's thanking him. And you're wondering, okay, so why is Luffy actually thanking Law? Well, if you remember correctly, about 2 years ago, Law, being a doctor, of course, he saves Luffy's life off the whim. You know, just randomly decides, yeah, I'm going to save your life. Right after that big battle, of course. So that's why Luffy feels like he owes Law. He has to say thank you. You know, like, maybe some coinage, that might be a little better of a thank you, but that's just me. But anyways, yes, Luffy does say thank you to Law. Now, while they're talking, Usopp discovers Smoker. Yeah, and then Tashigi obviously approaches, you know, she's losing it even more. But again, Usopp's the one that discovers Smoker's body. And how there's missing a heart? I know, it's kind of interesting there. Now, Tashigi, again, she does lose it, and she attacks Law right off the bat. And Law, he uses Room and then Shambles, and he does the same thing he did with Nami's group to Tashigi, and guess what? Tashigi has now switched bodies with Smoker. I know, right? I thought, wait, isn't Smoker dead? So aren't you just fucking her over even more? But again, she's not dead, neither is Smoker technically, so they're both alive still. Spoiler alert there if you didn't already know that. But again, yes, Luffy is sitting there just watching this all, and he's not doing a damn thing, and that's what I love about this. He's got no reaction, like, yeah, so Law hasn't pissed me off. He's just like smiling like, damn, Luffy. Now, ironically, Luffy does ask Law a really good question, which I'm not going to get into that. However, Law, instead of like attempting to answer it or approach the question logically, I guess, if that makes any sense, he says, Luffy, I want you to go over to this location and I will meet you there as soon as possible. I'm like, huh? So wait, Law, you're sending Luffy somewhere else and you're helping him and you will get to see each other later on? I'm confused. Law, what side are you on? No, I'm not keeping up with the manga in this particular part because I kind of skipped this little chapter, but I'm wondering, what did Law really mean by that? So Law is actually helping Luffy, or is he going to do something in private to Luffy? We really don't know, but again, Law does kind of help Luffy. He basically points out, we'll see each other later. He said it in a good way, not a bad way, so I figure he has to be a good pirate in my opinion. But just putting that out there. However, we are taking to a little cutscene with Nami's group. Yes, they're all freezing. I get it. You're freezing your butts off. How about you cry me a river? Yeah, maybe the Nile? But anyway, Sanji, he seems warm. Yeah, you heard me. Come on, Sanji, he's in Nami's body. So he's checking out the goods. You know, it's funny. And I thought it was also worth mentioning, it's the severed head. He makes a stupid request to put rocks on the kid's head as well as everyone else's head. Rocks, water, leaves. And, you know, everyone humors the damn frickin' severed head. They put rocks on their head. And guess what? We find out this severed head is a devil fruit user. Yeah. I was like, what? Yeah, and again, all these characters were freezing their ass off within Nami's group. And, you know, this severed head tells everyone, put the rock on top of your head and you should be warmer. He transforms the rock into clothing for everyone. And again, this severed head, which we don't know his real name right now, but this severed head is a devil fruit user. And now all the characters have warm clothes on? What? Okay, so we are thrown with a little bit of information about who the fuck this guy really is. This severed head? Yeah, apparently he can use magic, which allows him to disguise himself or everyone else in any way he pleases. Nice! So he can camouflage people. Now, there is a catch. If you take off the clothes, they disappear. So, don't take off your clothes? Oh, wait. Sanji's probably going to take them off, so he's going to freeze his ass or his tits off at this point in time. Just putting that out there, but it was kind of funny. Now, again, moving on past that, after we get to hear that little brief information, Luffy's group catches up with Nami's group. Because of Law's advice, I'm guessing? Yeah, it was kind of, perfect timing. So now the whole group is together, so the Straw Hats, they're back. Now, moving on past that, we are taking to another cutscene with the severed head. Yeah, he gets his legs back from Luffy. So this severed head now has his legs, but where's his torso? Oh, right, Brook was the one that noticed that. He's like, oh yeah, I remember there's a torso. Where? Yeah, so now the hunt's for the torso. All this severed head slash legs needs now is a torso to become one. So I can't wait to see that happen. But again, the crew does a general update on who's who, like who's in whose body, Nami being in Frankie's, Sanji being in Nami's, all that jazz, which, it was kind of nice to see a quick update. But you know what, moving on past that, we are taking a little cutscene with Usopp, and he's basically explaining the emergency signals they were receiving, like those emergency signals on the little snake transponders they received while off of Punk Hazard that caught their attention. This is why they went to Punk Hazard to begin with, like all those, that one emergency signal. Apparently it was from Brownbeard, someone that was actually from Brownbeard's crew. So no one in particular, we still don't know the name of this person, but again, the person that was on the transponder was part of Brownbeard's crew in general. So now we know what crew this person was with that made the emergency signal. And apparently he was one of, Brownbeard's men, obviously. And it all started when that severed head samurai sliced up those centaurs. So if it wasn't for this, samurai guy, the severed head, that emergency signal probably never would have went out. So now we know why the emergency signal was sent out to begin with, is because of the samurai. The samurai started hacking and slashing people, certain members of the Brownbeard's crew, or, village, what have you. And I guess one of the members of the Brownbeard's crew made an emergency signal, and, Luffy picked it up. So now we know how the whole story comes together on why Luffy's generally at the island and who sent the emergency signal. Sorry, that was like a long rant. I just had to get out there. Now, Law, he's actually responsible for taking the body of this samurai and slicing it up. So yes, Law is in fact the one that sliced up this severed head's body. So now we know what's what. That's something I like to know about, and I'm glad we found out. But moving on past that, yeah, Tashigi is in Smoker's body. I know, right? She's not looking her best. As for Smoker, who is in Tashigi's body, I'm gonna get a slap on the face for this one or something, but looks kind of hot. not the male perspective. I mean, it's weird because Tashigi was always a closed person, a librarian appeal, kind of a nerdy appeal, which I like. It's okay. But Smoker literally like opens the chest up more, starts smoking. I'm like, I don't know. Tashigi's new look as Smoker's inside of her body looks kind of nice. But too bad that's not going to stick. But it still was worth mentioning. Now Smoker actually talks about CC. Now, we've seen the initial CC before on a snail transponder, just putting that out there. But again, Smoker does talk about the initial CC and what it means. Caesar Clown. That's what the initials actually stand for. And no, that Caesar Clown is not part of Brownbeard's crew, in case you wanted to know that. No, he's not. But he is kind of friends, or former friends with, Vegapunk. I should say they're like, professors, colleagues, there you go. They were colleagues at one point in time, if that makes any sense. So now we know who the protagonist is right now, or let me rephrase that. Now we know who the villain is that's on Punk Hazard. It's Caesar Clown, and he's calling for Joker. Yeah, also in last episode, we got to see Monet. We didn't really get to see Monet in this episode, though, but I like the character. I like where it's going. But still, Smoker, he is still alive, as is Tashigi, so, whatever Law did to them, all he did was really switch bodies, and, Law has Smoker's heart, but that's about it. And again, that's where the episode ends. As for final thoughts, well, first of all, Caesar Clown, when are we going to see more of you, and what is your real plot? Not just plot, but what's your reason for doing what you're doing on this island? And how does Law come into this play? Now again, I'm trying to veer off from the manga because I didn't read a lot of it, particularly on this island, so there's a lot of stuff I don't know. But then again, probably in the next couple days I'll just reread it just for the hell of it, so I'll know what the hell I'm talking about more. But anyways, more on my final thoughts. Caesar Clown, who are more of your subordinates? We know there's Joker, we know there's Monet. Who else is there? Is Law part of your group? And what does Law really have to do with Caesar Clown to begin with? Yeah, just putting that out there. And one more final thought. it just kind of edged me. Tashigi and Smoker, what's their next move going to be? Are they going to report what's happened to their to the higher ups? Are they going to continue to go after Law? We really don't know. And are they going to go after the Straw Hat crew, who have done nothing to them on this island, but they're still wanted, of course? So just putting that all out there. But again, that is it for my final thoughts. As for my rating, 3.5 out of 5. I feel comfortable with a 3.5 out of 5 because there were no fight scenes in this episode, plain and simple. There were kind of build-ups for possible fight scenes, but really no fight scenes, so that was kind of a drag. Was there any romance or drama? No, unless you count, Sanji, Nami's little thing going on. Nami basically says every single time Sanji stares at my body, plays with my breasts, I'm gonna charge him a certain amount of berries. So she has this whole accountant thing going on where she's gonna start asking for money from Sanji to take a look at her stuff. I'm like, I don't know. She's smart, but that's kind of pushing it on the sane side. But again, final rating has to be a 3.5 out of 5. The episode didn't move me as much, but you know what? It's One Piece. I'm always gonna like it. So again, final rating 3.5 out of 5. And again, that ends it for my walkthrough review of One Piece episode 588. So definitely comment down below, let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down. Definitely subscribe, check me out on Twitter, and follow me if you like. But again, guys, let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know what you think's gonna happen in the next episode that's coming out. But again, guys, that ends it for now, and I gotta hit the bricks, and I gotta go. And before I go, I gotta say it, and I always say it, you can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.